I will not be a tyrant and rule through terror.
A tyrant rules only through terror. If a king isn't feared, he is powerless. If you are to be a strong queen, you must cultivate love and respect, yes, but your subjects must fear you.
Who let you in here? Why are you in my father's hall? You have always looked down on me.
I do love Lenum.
Then grant him this kindness. Set him free.
You forget yourself.
My lord, please.
I'll let the guards.
This will cost Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys their only remaining child. And the realm will whisper that I was somehow responsible.
Let him whisper.
How did you let this happen? In my fucking home! Tell me!
We will know the truth of it, and our enemies won't.
They will fear what else we might be capable of.
Welcome to the Unreal Hour.
Hello and welcome to our show. I'm Fiona.
And I'm Emma. This is Driftmark, episode 7.
Excellent. The episode is directed by Miguel Sapochnik and written, of course, by Ryan Condal, Charmaine de Grate and George Martin. And also in this episode, Kevin Lau, who is known for Westworld, among other things, but that was the one that I knew.
Cool.
So, yeah, I felt like this episode pairs really well with the previous episode because it's like one timeline.
Yeah.
And yeah, but there is a definite different feel to this episode than the last. So that'll probably be the influence of the different writers.
Yeah.
I think it was Sarah Hess that did the last one. So what did you think of the episode overall?
I thought it was a great episode. There was lots of looks in this one.
Oh my God, the looks.
The looks were great.
I've documented some of the looks. Or the sequence of the looks.
Yeah. That's the important part, I think. The sequence of the looks.
Definitely. There's a lot in it again. We got lots of dragons, lots of bitching and backstabbing and, passions. So many passions.
Yeah.
We had some new characters this week. This week introduced Maester Gerardus, although he was really only in that wee scene at the end, the wedding, was standing with the boys. None other than Phil Daniels.
I was going to say, he was in EastEnders. And
Mr. Parklife himself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had to look at him twice and go, how do I know him? Oh my God, it's Kevin from EastEnders. No way.
Yes, and so many other things as well. He has been on my TV my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, absolutely great to see him here. Always got that cheeky, chappy smile on the way. But, what a legend. And we also had Maester Kelvin, the Maester of Driftmark, who is played by Haki Ali.
Cool.
Any other thoughts general thoughts you want to go before we jump into major plot lines?
No, I'm totally good to jump straight in there because there's a few.
Oh God, there is. So of course the first thing is the funeral.
Oh, it's so awkward.
Oh, it
so
is.
many looks.
So many looks. So while all the looks were being exchanged, I transcribed the High Valyrian, and he said as follows. We join today at the seat of the sea to commit the Lady Laena of House Velaryon to the eternal waters, the dominion of the Merlin King, where he will guard her for all the days to come. As she sets to sea for her final voyage, the Lady Laena leaves 2 true-born daughters on the shore. Looks.
Yep.
Though their mother will not return from her voyage, they will all remain bound together in blood. Salt courses through the Velaryon blood. Ours runs thick. Ours runs true. And ours must never thin.
And this is the part that Damon laughs.
Out loud, he laughs. And it's just not cool to laugh at a funeral, no matter how funny it was.
Come on.
I know. It wasn't even just some random guest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Damon. So awkward. But it was. He was laughing at the looks.
Yeah.
He was laughing at all the looks. So he finishes with, my gentle niece, may the winds be as strong as your back, the seas as calm as your spirit, and your nets be as full as your heart. From the sea we came, to the sea we shall return. I loved the sarcophagus.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was. And then you saw all the other sarcophaguses at the bed of the sea. It was, eventually they're going to pile up, over the centuries.
Stepping stones.
Changing the landscape.
New stepstones.
Yeah. Then it moves on to the wake, of course. And
so awkward. Little Jace, he's like, basically, I don't want to be here. I want to be at my dad, my granddad's.
Yeah, we should be at Harrenhal.
Yeah.
And, so, Rhaenyra talks him down, but you can see he's still pissed, like.
And then more looks.
And more looks, yes. I'm like awkward looks between RNA and V&D.
Yeah. Viserys' look is like, oh God.
Will you two just talk already?
Yeah.
Then we get a little bit of Helena prophecy.
Oh, I've got Helena as a woohoo.
Oh, definitely. Hands turn loom, spill of green, spill of black, dragons of flesh, weaving dragons of thread. And I'm like, okay, green, black, dragons, flesh.
I thought, is no one else freaked out by this little girl?
Well, I don't think it's not uncommon. They call them dragon dreams among the Targaryens and stuff. It's been not unheard of throughout the centuries, but I don't think anybody's even paying attention to that.
No, like Viserys absolutely believes in prophecy.
Yeah.
And he's paying no attention whatsoever. Aegon's ripping the piss out of her.
I know, that was...
Aemond seems to be the only one that's a bit like, look, duty's duty.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed with Aemond, but his sour wee face just makes me want to slap a smile on it.
He is a sour little git. However, like we've discussed about the second son stuff, he's absolutely fulfilling the second son determination.
Yes, yeah, definitely. He is... he's got that looking at this role that is set out for his older brother and thinking, I could do a better job. Yeah. You're just an arse.
You're a twat, mate.
Yeah. And he's probably right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a case with a lot of second sons, and that is because they're watching what they're doing wrong. They're watching them being ungrateful bastards about what's set out before them, the role as the top dog. And while Rhaenyra is technically heir, he's still the oldest son, and, he's got all...
Yeah, it's back to that patriarchy thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it funny how, because this is a historical fiction, there's very much, in days of old, the second son would have been the more determined of the two, having to fight to find his way, whereas in modern society, the second son is more than likely the middle child, and has that sort of... I don't know where I belong in the world in a very weird and complacent way.
Well, yeah, we have a very public second son at the moment and gracing our newspapers regularly and acting like a spoiled brat.
Yep.
Who shall remain nameless.
Yep. No idea who you're talking about there.
No, none at all. So Aegon doesn't want to marry her. He's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to marry that. And it's just like, oh, come on, mate. Hey, come on. Like, we have nothing in common. Well, that's because, one, she's a bit kooky, and two, you've shown no interest in her. Yeah. It's like, you have plenty in common. You grew up in the same house after all.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, definitely. So Jace was really sweet. with Bella and Rhaenyra.
Yes, he was.
He didn't say anything.
No, but it was that
enough.
lovely exchange of looks. Again,
Yeah.
really great exchange of looks in this episode.
Definitely. He's clearly very fond of them and felt very sad for them because he was feeling the loss of a parent there too.
Yeah, you can relate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thought it was kind of weird that Laris was there and not
What do you mean? Like,
his...
get me started. I actually put that into my end of the thing notes because I had another comment on Laris as well. We'll get to that. I'll just save that other part for later.
Yeah.
But now that you've brought it up, Laris, what the fuck was he doing there?
Exactly. Why is he not at Harrenhal?
Exactly. Creepy little because he's didn't want to miss out on any of the good gossip.
But no one is questioning it.
That's what I found weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Not only why is he there, but why is nobody else going, why are you here? He serves no purpose. He has no role in among the inner circle, other than the one he has with Alicent. And what was it she said about him? She's like, it was Kristen had pointed out that he had been staring, obviously. And she's like, oh, that's not staring at me. That's just him being all proud of himself because he's the new Lord of Harrenhal, to paraphrase.
Yeah, well, piss off to Harrenhal and be proud of that. Like, why are you here, mate? He's like the guy that comes to the funeral for the sausage rolls that didn't even know anybody.
That's it.
Like, dude, why are you here?
That's exactly it. I love it. We have just summed him up. That is so good. And then there's poor Luke. And Carl's like, this will be all yours one day.
This was really sad.
It really broke my heart.
And he said, if I'm the Lord of Driftmark, it means that everyone's dead. And I really felt that.
Yeah. Because, and everyone there that he loves and cares about would be gone. Except maybe his brother.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah. Poor little sausage. So Rhaenys was a bit awkward with Rhaenyra. And, by the end of the episode, if there's animosity between those two, I can understand why.
She now has this whole, come on, everybody knows. This is going to affect my only living child now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Definitely. I wouldn't say she snubbed her completely. There was a bit of eye contact and a swift moving on. I felt the tension. Definitely felt the tension between them. And that's this, like you said, this episode was all about the looks and the tension and a lot of really good face acting going on today.
Rhaenyra isn't there at the wake. He's away
at this point he is still there because he's in the water, remember?
Yeah, but he's not
present. He's not present.
Standing.
He's pushed.
Being a dick.
He's absolutely hammered because after Carl Corey brings him back up the stairs and everything, he can
Carlos
barely
loses
walk.
his shit and he's like, basically go get your boyfriend in front of everyone.
That was so awkward. But as the drunken bums get, at first it's Otto dragging Aegon up the stairs, pissed as hell, and then Carl Corey brings Rhaenyra in behind him, and he's even worse. And the two of them were absolutely plastered. And Aegon's just been a twat, right? Rhaenyra's just. Is it wrong if I say drama queen? Because I know he's got a lot of grief going on, but they all have.
We've all been to a funeral where someone's relative is that guy.
Yeah.
Or girl.
Yeah. And he was that guy at this particular funeral. Yeah. He really was. It was like, right, okay, we're all sad. You don't have to throw yourself in the ocean. Mm-hmm. We get it. So, that was a wee bit dramatic on his part. But, oh my God, Corliss's scene. It was very public.
Yeah.
And it just made everything, he just made it worse. He's just, there's a lot of looks, and those looks are like, thought as much. Even Daddy knows. Everybody knows. But we'll get to that. So there was the only cute look in the whole scene was Rhaenyra and Daemon. There was a cute look between the two of them. That was sweet. And then there was the awkward conversation between Daemon and Viserys. I have that, though. Let's play it.
Your girls are the very image of their mother. A comfort and an anguish, as I well remember. The gods can be cruel.
Seems they've been especially cruel to you.
Oh, ouch.
Ow.
Yes.
That was a long silence.
You should return with us to King's Landing. It's time that you came home.
Pentos is my home. And that of my children.
Damon, I know we've had our differences, but let them pass with the years. There's a place for you in my court. That's something you should need.
I need nothing.
Oh, Damon. That's a bit dramatic, don't you think?
Brother.
Oh,
He's really reaching out to him.
I know. Talk about an olive branch. Yeah. He's so angry. Despondent, I think, is the word I'm looking for Damon, because he's just kind of hopeless. He's whatever fire he had about him before, it's certainly dimmed a little in these last few years. Yeah. And he says to Rhaenyra later when he's talking about Lena, and he's like, we were happy enough. But that's not really happiness, is it? We were happy enough.
Oh, that was in response to, did you love her?
Yeah.
We were happy enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt bad for Viserys there trying to reach out to him. And he was, he almost looked like he was going to, fall in with him again there. He cracks the joke and he's like, worse for wear, aren't you? But nah, he got riled as usual, as fiery Damon does. So at this point, Rhaenyra senses the tension building and she sends the boys off to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a tiny little thing, but I just wanted to bring note to it because everybody's, feeling this, and people are starting to get drunk, and people are starting to, snap at each other, and, there's a drunk in the water and there's another one on the stairs. Corlys has it's going to kick off. And I think she was just like, right, okay, let's just get rid of the boys before somebody says something they're not supposed to hear.
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
So we see Viserys sort of not being in his own mind.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So he turns to Alicent and says, I'm going to bed, Emma.
I know, and it was so heartbreaking.
Her face is like, and then she just brushes it off.
Yeah.
And carries on.
And like it's happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's done it in public this time.
I know. It was awkward.
Yeah.
He's
really very unwell at this point.
Definitely. And I've seen this storyline played out a few times working as a support worker and a carer. But family members being in denial when their elderly relative starts saying kooky things, and they're just a wee bit forgetful. I'm like, yeah, well, they forgot that 2 decades passed because they think it's the 90s still, So
do I.
Well, yeah. My next notes are about Aegon and Rhaenyra being drunk, but we already mentioned that. At this point, this is where Aemon sneaks off. Starts going on a wee adventure himself, but we'll get to where he ends up later because there's quite an important scene with Rhaenys and Corlys.
Yeah.
And the first part of that clip, I wanted to clip it all, but it was about 5 minutes long when you put it all together. So I just went, I've got a clip of the back half, but the first part of this conversation was, Rhaenys was just so angry at him for all his ambition and everything up to that point.
Yeah, and in my notes it says patriarchy versus maternal love.
Yeah, definitely.
And that seems to be their conversation, and that's why she's so mad at him.
Yeah, definitely. It's like...
is it the gods have scorned us for our pride, maybe.
Yes, that's what she said. She did. And I think he's hearing her. I think he's hearing some of it. Some of it, it was hitting home.
Yeah.
She does have a way with words, though. I mean, and Eve Best delivers them so well. So yeah, let's play the clip.
I want Driftmark to pass through Rhaenyra's line to Baelor. To true Velaryon blood. Declare it now while all are gathered here, and we will say that is how we will honour Rhaenyra's memory.
And disinherit our son.
He will be the king consort. His son will one day sit the Iron Throne.
You would have me cast an even darker shadow over those little boys than already exists.
We are alone here, husband. You can speak the plain truth as we both know it.
Name our time for pussyfooting her in the truth.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra's children are not of your blood. But Rhaenyra's are. They are her legacy.
History does not remember blood. It remembers names.
It's another very tense conversation between those two. I love their scenes.
Yeah.
Every week, I think Rhaenys clip makes it in there. Every episode. Because not just the character, but it's the delivery from Eve Best. She just has this way of delivering every line with such... I don't know what the word is. It's so profound, everything that she says, that you're hanging on her every word. The character is very clever and the actress is very good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting here. So yeah, it was a very, very intense scene. Did you have any other notes on this?
No, I think the only thing I would say, it was nice to again see how lovely a person Corlys is when it comes to little kids. Yeah. And just, what do you expect me? They're little boys. Yeah. And it's like, okay, deep down, I know they're not really my grandsons, right? But they're still kids. Yeah, they're still little boys, and I can't condemn them. That's not fair. Yeah. But she's grieving. Yes. So we understand where Rhaenys is coming from. Although she's grieving, she's focused. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. She's really thought about this. Yeah, she's a practical person. Yes, definitely. I actually didn't mention from the previous scene, but so I wrote down a note about Grandma Love when she gave it her moment with the girls as well was beautiful. Yeah. So I wanted to bring attention to that. I really, really, really. I was one of those moments where I didn't cry at this episode. I didn't, but I got close a few times, and that was one of those moments. I had a weird cry moment, but we haven't reached it yet. The swinging brick shed a tear. Oh, wow. Absolutely. I am intrigued. Well, let us know when we get there, Emma. You'll have to wait for the dragon section. Oh, yes. Of course, I didn't cry at a human being. Of course. Okay, so our next major plot line would be Rhaenyra and Daemon reunited. I really loved this. I felt that, oh my God, it was the first time that she could be properly honest and speak plainly and honestly. Yeah, absolutely. For such a long time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was so refreshing to just see her in a position where she could just be honest. Yeah. And I think Daemon is the only person in the world, other than Laenor, that she could be that honest with. Her and Laenor have this. And Harwin. Because she did say that she could be honest with Harwin. I think she said that in their conversation. She also said, I'm no longer a child. Oh, she did, didn't she? And she meant it. They had that moment. She was like, you abandoned me. And he's like, I spared you. You were a child. And it was nice to see that question answered of what was going through his head in that moment. He was like, he's more or less admitting he was going to do it, but he
he's just like, no, I can't. He couldn't at the last minute. And that speaks to some deeper affection for her.
It feels real between them in the show, as opposed to in the books, it was more of a tactical union.
Yes, it was.
Whereas this feels real.
It does. It definitely does. And I actually wrote the question to put before the group. Does it feel different now? She's older.
Yeah, I think so. And the sex scene was... It seemed very loving.
It was very loving, yes, yeah. Yeah, I think the awkwardness of age is gone. I mean, there's still the question of incest that's out there that probably does still disturb quite a lot of people. But I think for me, at this point, I've just accepted that this is how these Targaryens are.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just no point in questioning it anymore. It's like they do not see crossing those lines as, it's not even a question. So we can just focus on the fact that they kind of love each other.
Yeah, and also this is fantasy.
Of course.
So, no one was harmed in the making of this. It's all good. There was no real incest.
None at all. Well, none that I know of.
Well, hopefully not.
Definitely. So, yeah, I suppose for now that we had that beautiful reconnection with Rhaenyra and Daemon, but the plot line moves along because while they're having their fun in their little conveniently built little sex hut on the beach... Where did
this come from? You constructed this little sex hut. What's going on?
Absolutely.
I know they're royalty, but come on.
Was it like the hull of a boat or something like that? A small boat? It'd be built for, who knows? But they found this perfectly placed little hut right where they were getting all horny. So
it's like a sandals holiday. Like, what's going on?
So yeah, while that's going on, Aemon's decided he's going to go and get himself a dragon. And we will save that scene for our dragon section, and we will just move right on to the aftermath. So the girls wake up Chase, and they are outraged.
Yeah, someone stole Vhagar.
Oh, I know. They're so angry. And all the kids go running down to meet him coming back. And do you know what? I've clipped this bit because the scene, it was just so intense that, yeah, I'm just going to play it again.
It's him.
It's me.
Vhagar is my mother's dragon.
Your mother's dead. Vhagar has a new rider now.
She was mine to claim.
Cocky little bastard, eh?
Maybe your cousins can find you a pig to ride. It'll suit you.
Ouch! Oh!
Come at me again and I'll feed you to my dragon.
He's an angry little man.
Pie!
Yeah. Jesus! God, these kids are really going for it. Bloody hell!
Die screaming in flames just as your father did. Bastards.
Oh.
My father's alive.
Her little look.
All strong.
Jace!
Cease this at once! Get away!
My prince, let me see. Gods be good.
Oofed. Just oofed. Like, I knew that was going to be more intense listening to just the audio of it. I don't think I was prepared for how intense that was. Just, the audio on its own, it's brutal.
Yeah. And they're kids, which makes it worse.
Oh, God, yeah. And they were really, really going for it. And they were all just filled with so much rage and hurt and grief and all this stuff going on. And they just let rip on Aemon. And as horrible as he was in that scene, it was a bit much.
There's a lot of, when kids listen to parents and other adults and reiterate what they've heard.
Yes.
I absolutely felt Aemond embodied Kristen Cole in that moment, in the Bastards moment.
Yes, it did. He did.
So in my notes it said, the adults have fucked it.
Oh, they have. They have. They are not setting a good example. And they walk around having their conversations and their arguments, and they're pretending in themselves that these kids don't understand what's going on. And they clearly really do.
Yeah.
Except poor Luke. He hasn't got a clue.
I know, but
Oh, he's so innocent in that scene. I think in the books they were 5 and 6 in this scene. It was, they were really young.
wow.
So makes it even worse.
I mean, in fairness, I've seen my youngest daughter attack my son when they were like 5 and 11, and that's pretty vicious.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Your youngest is feisty.
Yeah.
Very
She's
feisty.
the Vagar of children.
Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, dear. So, yes, Westerlin intervenes, of course, and it's just like, where the hell were you guys? Yeah.
You're supposed to be in your bed, guys. What's going on?
Exactly. And Viserys is so pissed. And he's like, the Kingsguard are in trouble. They're like, well, we don't usually have to protect princelings from princelings.
It's again, the looks. Everyone's starting to look at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Viserys is going off his head, giving everyone the biggest mum row.
Oh, big time.
And he's like, "Your king demands it." And I've been Viserys when they've all kicked off.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to stop you right there because that picks us up right at the beginning of this clip.
My sons are in line to inherit the Iron Throne, Your Grace. This is the highest of treasons. Prince Aemond must be sharply questioned so we might learn where he heard such slanders.
Over an insult. My son has lost an eye.
You tell me, boy. Where did you hear this lie?
The insult was training yard bluster. The lot of boys, it was nothing.
Aemond, I asked you a question.
Where is Selenor? I wonder the boy's father. Perhaps he might have something to say in the matter.
Yes, where is Selenor?
Not like Alicent
I do not know,
totally
Your Grace.
sidestepping here. She's
could not find
swerving
sleep. I
all
had gone
over
out
the
to
place
walk.
to try and avoid
Entertaining his young squires.
implicating herself in her gossip.
Are like,
Mm-hmm.
Aemond, look at me.
Oh, here we go. This is it.
Your king demands an answer. Who spoke these lies to you?
Oh. Alicent's like, don't say me, don't say me, don't say me. Oh, it's so tense. All the looks. More looks. I'm sure Damon's smirking in a corner somewhere.
what was that going?
Me.
Me?
And you, boy. Where did you hear such calumnies?
He's very brave.
Yes, I was going to say. Yeah.
Tell me the truth of it!
We know, Father. Everyone knows.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Just look at them.
Yeah. It's very, 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 very awkward because Viserys still just changes the subject.
Yeah, his willful blindness.
He's like, right, you'll all stop arguing right now. I'm your king and I demand it. That is his direct response to what Aegon says. Yeah. You're just like, are you? No, he's not. It's willfully blind. That is the term. He is totally in denial.
And everyone in the room, I think Otto and Daemon, actually, their looks for me in that scene.
Oh, hilarious.
They were quite calm.
Very.
Which is a sort of new thing for their characters. within this season, they usually have a lot to say in these moments.
Yeah.
But they take a step back and observe the situation and just kind of let everyone else fuck it up, if you will.
Yes, absolutely, they do. Yeah, both of them had very interesting looks on their face. Damon's was just, I think he was just sitting there quite amused, actually. Just going, kind of missed this, actually. But Otto, it was that moment. There's a moment where he steps forward. He takes this step forward and says, "Is someone going to say it? Is someone going to say it? And it doesn't have to be me." Because if you remember rightly, in the last episode, Alicent said, if my dad was here, he would just say it.
Yeah.
But
he knows when is the time to say it. And he's already been expelled once.
Yes.
So I would imagine he's very careful about...
Oh, yes. He's weaving his way back in.
Yeah.
I mean, the series is like getting people's names wrong and stuff, so he's probably in a good chance of slipping by him.
Yeah.
But I think at least for your first outing in your old role, that you should keep your mouth shut and just observe.
Also funny that Otto and Daemon have always had this to and fro going on.
Total rivalry.
Daemon has been absent from court for about 10 years, and so has Otto.
Yeah.
And they've both come back at the same time, and they're both like,
is this what it's got to?
Okay. I'll just observe.
Everybody's changed a little.
Why is everyone else gobbing off and it's not us?
Yeah, so when Aegon says everyone knows, you got Rhaenyra clinging to Luke, Rhaenys looks at Corlys hangs his head, Daemon looks at Rhaenyra, Viserys looks at Alicent. It was just... and that's when he goes into full-on denial mode.
Yeah.
And avoiding the issue again. And then, of course, Alicent's like, calls for the debt to be repaid.
Oh, yeah, she says to Kristen.
I know.
And Kristen's like, fuck no.
Exactly. It's like, go and take Viserys' eye.
You. Like, I'm not doing that. No way.
Do you know what, though? Did you not notice how Harold Westerling was a wee bit worried he was going to say aye?
Yeah.
He was like, right, okay, good man, right answer.
Yeah.
But he was worried there for a second.
So was I.
And that worry didn't go away, because when it all kicked off, Westerling was shouting for Kristen. No, Kristen, don't do it. Come back.
Yeah.
It was all about getting in front of him, because he knew that he would, if he got in the middle of Alicent and Rhaenyra being Alicent's protector and his hatred for Rhaenyra, and he's got a vile temper, as we all know.
Yeah. We can't have him bashing the princess's face off her shoulders.
No, we cannot. So, yes. But let me see, where am I in my notes? So, yeah, when Alicent snaps, you know what? This is the clip 15 minutes, because I've got another one. But this scene was just so intense.
Alicent, stay with the king! Hold your ground! Do not separate them! Alicent! Stay your hands off!
No! You've gone too far.
What have I done but what was expected of me? Forever upholding the kingdom, the family, the law. Will you flout it all to do as you please?
Alicent, let her go!
Where is duty? Where is sacrifice? It's trampled under your pretty foot again.
Release the blade, Alicent.
And now you take my son's eye. And to even that you feel entitled.
Exhausting, wasn't it? Hiding beneath the cloak of your own righteousness. But now they see you as you are.
Whoa. Super intense.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was probably one of my favourite scenes of the series so far. I just love the intensity of it. And it doesn't end there, because, like Viserys, it all kind of calms down a bit, obviously, but Viserys leaves. And then there's just this moment where they all sort of go near their people, and you see this shot from above showing
the blacks and the greens.
The blacks and the greens.
Yeah.
The lines are drawn. And yeah, it was a proper face-off.
Yeah, there's the face-off, but there's also a weird sort of semicircle to the side, which is Rhaenys and Corlys and the girls.
The undecided.
Yeah. It was very cleverly done.
I thought it was beautiful imagery. I loved it. It was really, really cool. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add, actually, was in that moment when Alicent and Rhaenyra are, the dagger's drawn and she's fighting it off. There's a moment and the sound of the fire actually becomes more intense in the scene.
All right, okay.
And Rhaenyra locks in on the dagger as she's looking at the blade where she knows the hidden inscription is. And you can see that she's having a moment with this dagger at the time as well, and being reminded of her destiny. And it was just this tiny, tiny little moment in amongst all that chaos. But the camera really zoomed in, the sound of the fire intensified, and it really all just focused in on the dagger for a second. So I thought that was really cool. I
didn't actually notice that. The bit that made me notice the dagger was when the dagger's been dropped on the floor.
Oh, right, yeah.
And again, it's that intensity with the fire, but the dagger takes a moment.
Yeah.
It has its own little moment.
It certainly does, because it's a character in itself at this point, isn't it? Right, so yes, before we move on to Laenor's quote-unquote murder, there was one more scene that I have to play a clip from. And it was Otto being a proud daddy.
Say your piece.
Now, what piece is that?
I have conducted myself in a manner unbefitting my station or any other. I lost composure. Assaulted the princess. Already the word is spreading, the gossip speculating that I've gone mad.
All true.
I've disgraced myself and ensured my husband's favour will forever rest on her.
And yet, I've never seen that side of you, my daughter. I even doubted its existence.
It was an ugly thing, I regret it.
We play an ugly game. And now, for the first time, I see that you have the determination to win it.
Oh, he has a sly smile on his face at the time as he's saying.
You see her for what she is.
He's never been more proud of her than the day she tried to stab someone.
Wrought.
What will he say to me?
He'll forgive you. What else can he do? Now go to him, be penitent. Plead the injury to your son. Keep a grip on your passions. And I promise you, in time, you and I together will prevail.
Ugh.
What that rogue Aemond has done in winning Vhagar to our side. The boy was right. It's worth 1,000 times the price he paid.
Yes. So I honestly, that was like that was level of Otto, wasn't it? This was like...
No, this is the Otto I come to expect.
He was just... I think he's enjoying it more now. He's enjoying this little devious... I'm not saying he wasn't enjoying it in the past, but he was calculating for position and power, but now he's just having fun.
I imagine the 10 years that he's sat stewing, I've given him a new perspective, a worse, more evil, soulless perspective than he had before, if that was even possible.
Yeah, yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting.
However, he is right about Aemond and Vhagar. And Aemond is right for a little boy.
Yeah.
He's called it. I was going to say he saw it, but, well, only with one eye, because he's now Cyclops Aemond.
Yeah. But he has, like, he's gained a dragon, so, you know.
Yeah, the biggest, baddest one.
Exactly. You can see in that point when he says, what he's done by winning Vhagar to our side. Mm-hmm. And that there's just a moment of a look on Alicent's face, like thinking of them all going to battle on dragons. Mm-hmm. She foresees the future in that split second. I don't think it's quite what she's looking for.
Well, it never is with Alicent.
No. She sows the seeds and then tries to damage control.
Yeah.
But yeah. So next, I suppose, we've got Rhaenyra's quote-unquote murder.
Oh, it's... When he comes in to Rhaenyra and she's getting her arm sewn up and he's just like, oh, what the fuck's happened? Oh my God, like, my kiddo's got a broken nose, my wife's getting her arm sewn up, and he's been sitting pissed with the sailor boys.
Mm-hmm. He has, and the only funny line of the episode was at this moment where he's like, I should have been here. Rhaenyra says, those should have been our house words. Yeah. And it's the only funny line in this whole episode because it was very serious. But it did make me chuckle for a moment. I quite liked that. So it was a lovely moment between them, actually. There was definitely, I love the part where I have this conversation clipped, so let's play it.
Sit down. Aemond called our sons bastards.
I have failed you, Rhaenyra. Our marriage... I tried.
No, he didn't.
Our boys...
Not really.
I do love them.
I know.
Deeply.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But I have not, mayhaps, loved them enough.
I had hoped to bear your children. A few times we lay together. Things might have been different.
I hate the gods for making me as they did.
I do not. You are an honourable man with a good heart. It's a rare thing.
It is.
It really, really is. That was sweet.
And Westeros
we made an arrangement all those years ago to do our duty and yet explore happiness. But there are times,
dreams of children,
I think, when these things cannot mutually exist. So Carl will return soon to the fighting in the Stepstones. But I recommit myself to you and to strengthening our house as we prepare you for your ascension. I will raise our sons to be princes of the realm.
Lynn.
You deserve better than what I have been. You deserve a husband.
Aww.
He's right. If he had had that mindset years before, and played up to the role that they had set one another, then a lot of this wouldn't have been. There would have been less doubt.
Yes, exactly. That was when everybody was questioning where Rhaenyra was. Alicent was freely allowed to make digs like, off entertaining one of his squires.
Yeah. He'd been more like Corlys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very sad that in that world he can't just be himself.
Yeah.
But hopefully over in Essos they can a little bit more than they can in Westeros anyway. It's about what's expected of him that comes with his title.
Yes.
If they were a couple of peasants, nobody would care.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really lovely scene and pretty much his last. So I thought it was worth playing it. And he did right. He said the right things in the end, I suppose. It's just too little, too late.
Well.
Yeah. So that brings us back to Rhaenyra and Daemon again.
Good old Rhaenyra and Daemon.
Yeah, always rely on them for some entertainment. So they had this conversation in which Rhaenyra described fire as a prison, and Daemon was like, maybe the Velaryons have got it right. The sea's the better, the better ally? Something like that.
I think so. And she's like, well, yeah, the sea is an escape.
Yes.
And we all know she's talking about Laenor.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the conversation that they have in High Valyrian is about
getting married.
Yeah. If we're married, there won't be as strong a challenge.
Yeah. But it ends, but in fact, I've transcribed this conversation, so it's not really a conversation, it's more just a wee monologue.
Yeah.
I cannot face the Greens alone. Let us bind our blood just as Aegon the Conqueror did with his sisters. With you as my husband and prince consort, my claim would not be so easily challenged. The Velaryons are off the sea, but you and I are made of fire. We have always been meant to burn together. To which Daemon replies, in English, we could not marry unless Laenor were dead. And thus the plotting begins.
I really like this plot, though. It's not a mean plot.
No. And I'm interested. I want to know if this is the way it was always meant to be. Because in Fire and Blood, many would argue that he actually did die in the books. But we don't know that. Because Fire and Blood's a history document and it's just the gossip of the time. And in this world, in the TV show, everybody believes that Laenor is dead.
I would like to believe that Daemon did it as a respect for his late wife and the love that those siblings had for each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think if it was anyone else, he probably just would have had him killed.
Well, I mean, he killed Rhea Royce, so...
Yeah, exactly. But there's a respect for Laena and there's a respect for Rhaenyra's love for Laenor.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has been...
And he's not like Rhea Royce in the respect that he's offensive to Daemon in any way. He's a nice guy.
He is a really nice guy, and he's been a good father.
Head.
He's a bit of a drunken party animal, but he is a loving father, and he's tried his best to play his role. But
he has, and he's been such a good friend to Rhaenyra and a lovely cousin.
Yes, and they've been really close. You can see that in that last scene together, in that moment when he said, "I wish I wasn't the way I was," and she's like, "I don't. I love you just as you are. You're awesome." And I love that scene. So it was a weird conspiracy. I wasn't really sure I got it the first time I watched it. It took a couple of watches for me to really make sense of what was going down there. But yeah, I just want to know who the dude in the fire was.
Yeah, he seemed like some... At first I thought, oh, is he just a guard that's standing there? But he just seemed like some rando hanging about.
So I think it's just some random servant.
Yeah.
But poor guy. I mean...
Nice that they broke his neck rather than, like...
burning him alive.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody thinks happened to Laenor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Thank goodness there's no postmortems in Westeros.
Well, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And no DNA testing.
Yeah. No fingerprints. No dental records.
The big dragon prints in the front yard might give it away.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, the quote-unquote murder of Laenor Velaryon.
It's Rhaenys scream.
Oh, it's blood-curdling, isn't it?
It's too much. Both of them in 1 week.
Oh, God, yeah. This is the night of Laena's funeral.
Yeah.
Or the day after, maybe. No, it's the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the day after. Oh, it's absolutely tragic. And it's so sad that she'll never know that her son is alive. I hope when her final moments come, there's
Hope he
Rhaenyra's.
sends a note with an owl.
Yeah. Somebody just hope at some point before she goes, somebody lets her know that he's really still out there.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Because she's been through a lot. It will be sad to not see Rhaenyra around anymore, but because he was definitely amusing. As in the last episode, he's like, I fell over. Oh, he's so funny. I think that pretty much wraps up all our major plot points, unless you have anything else to add.
There's a whole last creepy Larys bit on the boat.
Yes.
This guy, when he came on the screen, I just thought, piss off, Larys. He just comes out of nowhere. He's terrifying in a sort of lurking fashion. I mean,
absolutely.
you could knock him over the side if you wanted to. He's not an imposing guy, but he's so creepy.
Oh, yes. And I'm still unsure why the hell he's there. What is that all about? But yeah, so he offers to balance the scales for her. She kind of puts him on standby.
Yuck. He's just so horrid.
You can see that she is so creeped out by him as well.
Yeah,
but
she thinks he's gross, but he's useful now.
yes, he's a necessary evil in her eyes, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was really, really creepy.
Oh, actually, there was another point.
What was that?
Daemon and Rhaenyra's blood wedding.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, when we started going back into the Daemon and Rhaenyra thing, that is where I was heading with it.
Yeah.
And we got a little distracted there. The wedding was so cool. I loved it.
It was cool. It was also very unhygienic. Looked really painful.
Yeah. Were they drinking blood?
Were they drinking blood?
I think so.
Oh, that's fucking boggling.
Yeah, and the lip splitty thing as well. It's like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm not want to kiss anybody with a cut lip.
Nope.
No.
Even just the open hand thing. No.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, I was trying to look past the hygiene issues and look at the symbolism, and I did think it was very different to any other the wedding ceremonies. It felt
very pagan festival.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It felt very pagan, and yeah, it was interesting. And their kissing moment was a loving moment.
I felt it was very pointless because they already share the same blood. So, what's the point?
Oh, yeah. Now that you mentioned it. Yeah, because even, how you think about it. So he's her uncle, and also her mother was his auntie.
Yeah, and now they both have hepatitis.
Well, I don't think they're going to live long enough for it to come out fruition, so it's not too bad. Oh, dear. So do you have any... no, in fact, we're not even there yet. It's not do you have any, because we still had to go onto our dragon section. Well, there were several dragon sightings in Driftmark this episode. First of all, we got that beautiful scene with the dragons just all flying above the castle.
Yeah.
We got one, then another, and then another flying in, and then there was two sitting up on the hill.
Yeah.
5 dragons in one shot.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was very cool. Loved that. And they were all quite big as well. Little full-grown dragons kicking around there. So yeah, but the main star of the show today was Vhagar.
It was, and there was... she was flying around in the sky above the clouds, and she was grieving.
She was. She absolutely was. You could hear her wailing at different points in the episode as well, earlier on in the episode. Yeah. She was in a bad way. it wasn't just that she had lost her rider, that she had been the one to take her life. Yeah. And that's unheard of. Yeah. So there is no record of ever a rider being killed by their dragon. So yeah, that was very sad. But Aemond, wow, he was terrified, but he was super brave.
He was, and at this point, Vhagar, you can see, is still grieving. Mm-hmm. She's sad, and this was the point where the swinging brick welled up.
Oh,
for
right,
Vhagar.
right.
I felt so sorry for her because she's so old. She's lost riders, but like you say, she's never been the one to take her rider.
Yeah, that's something else.
I felt so sorry for Vhagar.
Yeah, I definitely did. So there's that moment when he's psyching himself up to go, and we get this really wide shot of Vhagar and him walking towards her.
Yeah.
And he's so tiny. She is massive. She is like one big badass dragon, and he stops and he goes, fuck. Like psyching himself up to go for it. But yeah, he's been paying attention because he knew all the commands.
He did.
And he's like he's been practicing them.
And he just touches the saddle.
She wakes up.
And yeah. And she's pissed.
Oh,
she's grieving, but she's pissed. Don't touch me.
Yeah, exactly. You see the fire building in her throat. How cool was that?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then she listens to him and she does this little inhale and then a purr.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually purred. And I think, if I'm trying to get inside the head of a dragon, I think she recognised that he needed her.
She sensed his strength.
Yes, that too. And then when they were up there, boy, did she test him.
Oh, wow, he was hanging on for dear life.
I know. It made me wonder if anyone's like ever fell from the dragon. But yeah, it's like they're on the ground still. And he's like, right, Soves, I think was the command that's, I think, to fly.
Yeah.
And then she gets up and she shakes out her shoulders and she has a wee shimmy and he's like, whoa, whoa. But yeah, I mean, all the visuals here, the CGI, the movement is incredible.
Awesome.
Definitely. The takeoff was really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like barely holding on. And then she does this nosedive. And I was just like, whoa, whoa, yes! When they swoop back up again, I was so excited. It was fucking epic, as I wrote here. Loved it.
I got NeverEnding Story vibes.
Oh, so did I. Absolutely. It was so NeverEnding Story. Yeah, and then the birds.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, duck. No, seagull. And I've just, for the landing, I've just wrote, we need a new patio. Because that was the area which they'd had the wake. They landed on it, and she just goes,
oh, girl.
Oh, absolutely. And then finally, unless you had any other notes on Vhagar,
nope.
We had that lovely scene where the dragon's flying home, and again it was Vhagar where she jumps off the cliff and swoops down over Rhaenyra's head.
And she's massive.
Oh, so big. Wow. Yes, I meant to mention the wingspan. Wow, big time. She is one amazing dragon. I'm loving the turkey neck because she's an old lady.
Yeah.
Or is it, what was the guy in Ally McBeal used to call it? Because he had like a little bit of a fetish about it. You think the older ladies waddle. That's neck waddle. Yeah, I'm loving that. That they've really, really got into these dragons and who they are, how they're the descriptions, and then added unique characteristics like neck waddle.
Yeah,
for portray that she's an old dragon. So I wonder what it is about the thing about dragons. So Vermithor is said to be the biggest next to Vhagar. But the oldest dragon next to Vhagar is actually Dreamfire. And I don't know if we've seen Dreamfire yet. It's Dreamfire, maybe the unidentified pit dragon from last week, but I'm on the fence about this.
Blue.
Yes, there was definitely, I remember from last week, yeah. So yeah, this dragon is like, Vhagar is absolutely massive. But the point I was trying to get to was that, so the way dragons grow, do they keep growing forever? So Balerion was the oldest dragon and therefore the biggest and the baddest. And do they keep growing throughout their entire life?
It's a possibility. Are the male ones bigger than are the females bigger than the males?
Exactly. I want to know all this stuff. Yeah. So I might go into a deep dragon dive.
Some dragon anatomy.
Yeah, I want to figure out the details here, because the older dragons do appear to be the biggest dragons. But yet, these little dragons seem to be rideable within a few years.
Yeah.
So, for example, I mean, Jace. Jace is, I don't know.
12?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think so. He's about that age there. And then we have our time jump in the next episode. And by that point, he is absolutely flying around on his dragon.
Yeah.
By the time we take this next time jump. So he must only be a teenager, yet he has this fully formed dragon of fighting size.
Yeah.
And yet then you've got, but Vhagar must be close to 200 years old at this point. And Balerion, I reckon, was closer to 3.
Yeah. What is the lifespan of a dragon? Do we know? Is that something?
I think Balerion's the only marker that we have for that, and being almost 300 years old. So it all depends really on whether or not Balerion was a baby dragon or an adult when he came to Dragonstone. But at that point, that was 114 years before Conquest.
Yeah, so I mean, potentially it could have been 400 and something years old.
Yeah, we don't know if Balerion was fully formed when he arrived at Dragonstone, but we know he was there for over 100 years before the Conquest and died in the time of Viserys, or in the reign of Jaehaerys. But Viserys was the last one to ride him, so he'd maybe been dead for he'd maybe been dead for 20 years at that point. So yeah, I'm interested to know like how these dragons grow and do they keep growing and things like that. So I'm going to take a wee deep dive into the
anatomy and physiology of dragons.
If I can find it. And failing that, I'm going to jump on Reddit and see what people think there. See what the general consensus is.
Yeah.
If I can't find facts, I'll go with the general consensus.
I wonder if there's maybe some anatomy and physiology of lizards that have been used in that, possibly like a monitor lizard, and how that grows potentially. That's the most prehistoric thing I can think of.
Oh, well, you're doing better than me because I had nothing.
Oh. Well, you know how much I love animals.
Yes, absolutely. So, dragons sightings this week were
plentiful,
and one of them was damn epic.
Yeah, action-packed, plentiful, epic.
So that brings us to the end of our general episode coverage, which takes us into our RIP section. And our RIP section is going to be very, very short this week, because the only death that I witnessed was
potential servant guy.
Yeah, whoever that poor guy was that was burned and his neck snapped in Laenor's place. It was brutal.
Wrong place, wrong time, dude.
At least it was quick.
Yes.
He barely knew it was coming and it was over. And it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. It's sad that he doesn't even have a name.
Yeah.
I think he was within the realms of the castle, so I'm going to guess some sort of castle servant.
Yeah.
And that is all we know. So that was pretty awful. And the only other person that we really said goodbye to this week in a roundabout sense of the word, would be Laenor.
Yep, fake death Laenor.
Yep, despite the fact that we, the audience, know that he is alive and well and looking damn fine with a haircut.
Yeah, that was an improvement.
Definitely. But apart from the fact that we know he's okay, the rest of the realm thinks he is gone. He has gone down in the history books as died 124 AC or whatever it is. It's around that time. Don't quote me, guys. Don't quote me.
Well, for Laenor Velaryon, we won't say rest in peace. We will say live in peace.
Absolutely. Live in peace, Laenor and Carl. I hope they make it work.
Yeah.
And that brings us to fun facts.
Cool.
So what have we got this week? I meant to look at these ahead of time. Our first fun fact of this episode is that the wedding of Daemon and Rhaenyra is the first wedding done in Valyrian tradition in both the books and the HBO shows. The vows and traditions were created by the writers of the show using what knowledge is given about Valyria. The episode title refers to the island of Driftmark, location of the ancestral seat of House Velaryon. Castle Driftmark, the original seat on the island, was built of dark stone and prone to dampness and flooding. Lord Corlys therefore had a new castle, High Tide, built on the opposite side of the island, where there is more exposure to sunlight. High Tide is constructed from the same lighter coloured stone as the Eyrie.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. The episode has the first mentioning of either factions in the Dance of the Dragon by name, with Rhaenyra referring to the High Towers and their allies as the Greens. Okay. In the book, Laenor's death is not faked. Carl Corey actually kills him. There's debate, however, about Carl's motives, whether he was put up to it by Daemon or whether it was a lover's spat which turned violent. The show reverses this, with Laenor's death being faked, but Carl's motives being clear, at least to the audience. True. I still say that it's not clear in the book either. It's just the general consensus of the people.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. At about 40 minutes in, after Alicent stabs Rhaenyra, the scene foreshadows the forming of the two sides that ultimately culminated into the Dance of the Dragons.
We called that.
We called that. Yeah, definitely. Saw that one. The full name of Laenor's friend Carl, who ultimately turns on him, is Carl Corey. This is most likely a reference to Corwin, the protagonist of Roger Zelazny novel, 9 Princes in Amber, who initially uses the alias Carl Corey.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Fact.
That is a fun fact. And, warning, spoilers.
Okay, go.
When Alicent tries to stab Luke with the prophecy dagger of Aegon the Conqueror and Rhaenyra blocks her, there in the scene where Alicent holds it in front of the fire, Rhaenyra notices that the prophecy is not shown engraved at the knife. This is really bad English. Oh, right, okay. It's because it's held in front of the fire. That's what Rhaenyra was looking at. So that's what I didn't pick up on in that scene.
Right, okay.
Rhaenyra was noticing that it didn't glow in her hand in the light of the fire, which means that Alicent's line will not bring the prince or princess that is promised, and Rhaenyra knows it.
Ah, okay. That's cool.
Which explains why, after the incident, she wants to actively take the throne.
Yeah, that's my favourite fun fact of this week.
Yeah, me too. That is really cool. I mean, I called her staring at the dagger, but I did not notice that that's what she was noticing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And that is absolutely my favourite fun fact so far. Excellent. So that is the last of the fun facts for this week's episode. And as stated in our previous episodes, pulling the kibosh on the news until we get into season 2, because we are about a week away now. And all news is just gossip and speculation. So that brings us to the end of our episode.
We will be back next time with episode 8, The Lord of the Tides.
Ooh. Right. This is our last big time jump, I think, from this episode. Right. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again next time. Feel free to send in your comments, and Emma will tell you how.
If you want to contact us, you can head over to our website, theunrealhour.com, where you can find links to our social media and Patreon to review, like, follow and subscribe. You can also leave us a voice message that we may use on the show. Finally, you can email us at talk@theunrealhour.com.
If you like what we're doing here and you want to support the show, then you can visit patreon.com/theunrealhour to show your support, where you can subscribe for ad-free listening, early access episodes and exclusive content. If you don't want to commit to a monthly subscription, then you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/theunrealhour, where you can donate as much or as little as you like. All your donations will go back into the show to cover costs and keep the lights on. Once again, thanks for listening. Until next time, keep it unreal.